Alright guys, it's Mick here from Liquid Existence, and basically we've finished with the boat. Look, it's been a few months, we've done a few tricks and changes with it. We've had a couple of little things that we had to redo, but essentially now we are right to go. And what we're going to do, we're just going to start from sitting outside the boat and then walking back through and getting down to the end to where the motor is. Alright, so look, the reason why I went this way, even though it sort of has it all set up like a tournament boat, it's definitely a multi-spec boat. And I think that's a very important thing for me personally moving forward. I love doing tournaments, however, I like the idea of taking the kids out, hopefully soaking a bait with them as well, and also going out to sea to do a bit of bottom bashing as well. So, you know, even if we wanted to go crabbing, we've got room down in the bottom there to actually, you know, put the dillies and things like that. So it's really a multi-spec boat. I wanted to be able to take it out to sea. I wanted to go, you know, off central Queensland or places like Yeppoon. Also just getting some really rough water that some of the competition arenas that we have, you know, whether it's in a bay or essentially some of the lakes down in Victoria, it can get quite rough. So this is why we've gone the Cyclone, and it's been wonderful to drive. Alright, so we're going to start with the Garmin Kraken. Now, I thought about this, and obviously I could have went the standard Garmin Force, but I wanted the Kraken. I wanted to be able to take it out to sea. I wanted to be able to change the depths in it. And most importantly, I wanted to be able to mount the live scope to basically a geared motor. So I wanted to get this to an internal motor system, and that's what the Kraken provides. And so we've got the LV34 on there. It's a particular mount that we needed for that. That it doesn't come with the LV4 kit. That's a separate thing as well that you need to order from Garmin. But once all set up, we've got that on there. The other thing that we do have as well is we have the GT56 transducer built in on the front of it. And look, that really covers the front off for me for when I want to basically pan, scan as I'm driving. I can go down on the forward view on the forward-facing sonar on the LV34, and also I can do side imaging as well to pretty much capture everything that I'm trying to find underneath me. So with this as well, being a 63-inch shaft, as you're banging around, especially if you're out at sea, you know, you're always going to have that issue of the slap there. So I've just got the little Garmin arm to protect it, and then that way it locks it all in. It's not going anywhere, and it gives you a bit of I guess a bit of safe knowing that you won't be bashing this up against your gunnel anytime soon. Alright, so here's the business end of the boat, and essentially we've gone with two 8412 Garmin units, and we've also got them sat on a custom made by GGR Sheet Metal and Laser Cutting. We've got a beautiful bracket that they've made for us here. Sits both of it on there, rock solid sturdy, and it's actually got my own little logo in the side there, which is pretty cool of them to do. But look, the 8412s, why did I go them? Well, as you can see here, we've got not a hell of a lot of room there. Eventually, I probably might put some switches in here just for the trim and tilt, and maybe something else later on down the track. But more importantly, I think it's a good fit for this particular space, and it sits up nice against the Kraken there. And look, the 12s are doing their job. Basically, with the live scope, I've got one running full live scope full time, and then the other one running all the other bits and pieces that we would with our general fishing. So also with that, we've got the Kraken foot pedal. Unreal to have. How quick this foot pedal moves when you need to steer is like next to none. It is electric. It does take a little bit to get used to, but after a few trips, you know, you can turn in comfort, and you can pretty much leave things to the last second to turn the boat to get away from a rock wall or anything like that. So it's a really good unit. Alright guys, so look, on this boat, it's like a standard sort of bass boat, you could say. We've got three main compartments that this basically, you know, you can put your gear in, your rods, reels, all that kind of stuff. We'll start with the center one, right? And how these are sort of built, it sort of lends themselves that all your tackle gear and your rods and reels go into the center line here. I don't have much tackle in there at the moment, but I will be working on that. It's all in the shed. So on this side, we've actually got a bit of a mix of stuff here. And it's one thing that you'll notice here, I do have to hold this because the Kraken motor's there. Obviously when the motor's down, we don't have that problem, but I'm probably going to get some sort of strut or something made up there into the near future. So on this side here, we basically have a house battery for the Garmin units. We also have a 24 volt lithium BLA battery that was spoken about previously. Right up the back there, you can see the GLS10 that runs the LVS34, the live scope. And if you just come over the other side here, you'll see that we've got all our fuses in there. It's a pretty neat, easy job. And away from that, I think the thing is to remember that Garmin, there's not a whole heap of wiring with the Garmin units. It's pretty straightforward. They all run on your standard network cables. So for the tech gurus, it's RJ45s, what you'd use, I guess, in a business or an office setup. So we're not sitting there doing multiple links for them or anything like that. It's just clean wiring, one unit to the other, and basically it does the job. Okay, so this side here, look, I've just got basically like my bumpers, a bit of rope, life jackets. I've got the engine battery in here as well. And then, yeah, basically you can see there that you've got the main fuse set up with all the bits and pieces, everything for the electric motor through to the boat motor itself. Okay, so now we're at the actual wheelhouse. And as you can see, we've basically got the 16-inch Garmin 8416. We've also just around the corner here got a little power USB ports for that as well. I will run a camera back up the top here when I get around to it. I have been doing a bit of camera stuff, but not a lot. And basically from here as well, we've got the actual control arm, the Yamaha control arm, and we've also got a jacking plate. So the jacking plate, I could have gone for a wheel switch sort of setup, but I chose not to because as you're driving this, as you got it up there, as it's there, you can sort of just up and down, just tick and tack, easy as that sort of thing. And once you're sort of driving it, you're not really playing with it a lot anyhow. And the other thing that I was more worried about is the console is not a massive, there's not a massive space to put a lot of stuff, and a little, I guess, a little stick coming out here lent itself to probably being snapped off, especially if we're sort of running around in a bit of rough water or we're standing up out at sea or something to that effect. Also, we've just got our nav lights, or just our general switches, that nav lights, anchor switch, bilge, bait tank. And we've kept it very simple in that respect. And just to this side here as well, for the live well, we've got the actual power switch, and then we have our aerator and live well set up. So look, we're down to the back end of the motor here, and we did speak about the steering before, but it is noting that we've got the Baystar hydraulic steering on there. And the other thing that we do have is the C-Star 4-inch setback jacking plates. Now, what this does essentially for this boat is, on takeoff, I'm not sort of getting bogged down in the water. I can trim it. I can trim the jacking plate up to number 2, and I can get onto the plane relatively quick. We're looking at a boat that's probably around about 1,600 kilos, probably more now with a bit more gear, or more gear that needs to be added into it. So having that jacking plate really helps in that respect, and it also helps in rough water as well. So just in wind chop, generally on the river, I can really just set it up, put the trim right down on the motor, and really use the nose to push through that water without sort of bashing up, into the water. The nose on this boat is quite sharp. It will cut through any of that sort of wind chop. Now, the biggest thing that sort of has been a bit of a talking point, I guess, for a lot of people is I didn't go the VMAX. And look, I'm not 25 anymore. I'm not here to race everyone. This will never be the fastest boat in any comp, by all means. There's, boats that are probably this size running potentially nearly 150 and probably a little bit lighter, and they're going to be a lot more quicker boat. The reason why I went the 130 is that the 130, as they are standard, their reliability is next to none. It's like having a Toyota Land Cruiser. You know what you're going to get. You know that you can run around out at sea all day. You can put it through its paces. It's not going to worry you. They're so reliable, and that's why we've gone that way. The other thing was that Basco also rated this boat to a 130. They standard rate them to 115, so that was nice of them to do that for me. So look, so we've got the 130 running a 17-inch 4-blade at the moment. Probably going to go to a 19.3 blade, and fingers crossed we'll get some more speed out of it. Generally, with gear and people, I'm running around about 75. So the last boat I had was running a little bit quicker than that, but it was probably a little bit lighter compared to this boat. And this boat, it's a bit like a bathtub. It sits in the water, but you notice its performance when you're working in rough water. So it makes a hell of a difference. The trailer is a precision trailer, come with the boats. They're on rollers. That honestly has taken a little bit to get used to. Double bogey, which is great. or tandem trailer. Obviously you need that for this weight. You can probably get away with a single one, but at the end of the day, it's something that you really, I think for this weight, you want to be running double axles. And also, it's probably worth mentioning that big shout out to Spectrum Signs for wrapping this boat as well. They've done a really great job. All the sponsors' logos are on there. They've come up with a design that's really the mouth of the Clarence River, if you can see that, and then also just with your topo or topo marks throughout the actual wrap itself. And once again, big shout out to Design, Build, Instruct. Yamaha, Yamaha Australia, Garmin Australia, Casano Outdoors Disposal, GJR Sheet Metal as well. So, but look, I think that really wraps up most of the things that I wanted to show there today, especially the layout of the front there of the cockpit. I suppose is probably the biggest one. But look, let me know what you think. If there's any ideas, if you have any questions, please drop us a line, send us a message, and I'm happy to have a discussion about it. But I hope everyone enjoyed that. No more of these boats for a little while now in the way of what we do next. So this is going to be it for a few years now. And yeah, now it's just time to get into a few comps and put it to good use. So look, thanks everyone. Like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.